I am not a religious person. However, I hold many beliefs and values that stem from different religions or ideologies. I believe in equality. I believe in religions should be able to coexist in peace. The world was not made for one single religion to dominate. I believe there are many spiritual paths to righteousness and that people deserve the right to be able to find their own way. For the longest time, I thought this was just atheist. However, through taking this class, I was taken on sort of a spiritual journey that I realized this is known as spirituality. While I was going to tell the story of my religious background, I'm going to tell the story of an important step in my recent spiritual journey. The story of a place right in my backyard that represents California's diversity on a small scale. It is a hotel that was built by a man who is both spiritual and a bold visionary. Every artifact, every wall, every brick has a story. From the doorway that stood in a place of worship in India for 300 years, to the colors of the chakra being located all over the hotel, from the chapel to many paintings in the building, and the ancient Chinese protectors that are meant to capture or ward off evil spirits, and the only auditory labyrinth in the world. This collection makes this place a place where people can get lost in other cultures and eras, and maybe even discover something about themselves. This place is called the Allegretto.
Okay, Doug grew up watching his dad, his grandpa, and his great-grandpa develop Los Angeles and in the hotel business in the 20s. So they were building hotels. As a result, there's 24 heirs hotels throughout Los Angeles. So Doug knew when he grew up that he was going into the family business. So he did. He went to USC. He graduated in religion, sound technology, and design. He went to work for the family. Everything was going very smoothly. And then he had a tragedy in his own personal life. He went to South America. He lived with tribes for a year where there's no water, no electricity, nothing. Then he went to Asia and Europe for 2 more years. So for 3 years, he went away and worked on his spiritual self. He is a visionary. And if you know anything about a visionary, once they have a vision, their life is not complete until that vision is complete. And the Allegretto is his vision for the family. So it is the one hotel, it is the furthest north of all the hotels, and it is the one that has everything. It has the spa, the pool, the restaurant, the bar, the tasting room, everything, the chapel, the labyrinth, everything he's given to the Allegretto. It is his baby, and he was here hands-on for everything. He actually, so he went away for 3 years to work on, he lived in monasteries and worked on his spiritual self, his inner garden, he calls it. So when he came back, he was ready. Like that before. This is a female Buddha. That's a beautiful piece also. And that's stone. It's very, very cool. And when it's in place, in those little shelves, there's little god statues in there. She's a female Buddha, and of course she's for compassion and all those things. And they do pray a lot to the female Buddhas. I didn't know that. But her hands are what are significant here. This one is protection, and this one down here is education. That's what those symbols mean. But it the ceiling, it's a work in progress, totally. They've done the ceilings and the trim and all of that. And here, the acoustics are what are so cool. They actually had a banquet in here last night. Amazing. There was a big dinner table here. And the windows, now later in the afternoon, the sun will come through those windows, and there'll be big circles like this on this wall. And then as it gets later, it will go through those windows up there, and there will be colored patterns on the wall and on the floor. This one here, these are all seed of life and yin and yang and all kinds of symbols throughout. And this one behind us, up here, is the 12 calendar months and all the colors of the chakra.
It may seem odd that I chose to talk about a hotel for a project that was supposed to be about my religious background and worldview. It's because this place represents my worldview and religious background. As someone who's grown up in California my whole life, I have always had access to a buffet of religions and cultures right in front of me. From my Mormon friends in high school to my friend Aleem who taught me about Islam. It may just be a fancy hotel to some, but to me the Allegretto represents a congregation of artifacts representing different cultures and religions, which is similar to California as a state. California as a state is just that, a congregation of culture and religion from across the world. Not only does it symbolize this, but it's a place where I've been able to go when I need to clear my head, where I can escape my busy everyday life, and even, if just for a moment, forget that I'm living in modern-day California and lose myself in the chapel, walking through the labyrinth to clear my head from any negative thoughts, or in the halls on the east side that resemble the great Roman Colosseum. But more importantly, it's where I discovered what it means to be spiritual. There is truly something special about this place, for anyone who is willing to dig a little deeper.